On this episode of Jack Talk, we will see what ASO Weekend was all about, find out all there is to know about the geology field trip, and get to know more about SFA, other things. Today with us, we have Alexis. Stay tuned. Hello, I'm Mariah Johnson. On this segment, we are talking with Bernard Ambe, president of ASO, about ASO Week. Also here with me are my co-anchors, Alexis Paul and Marcus Reynolds. How y'all doing?
Good.
Doing good.
So, want to get started?
So Bernard, could you tell us what ASO is about?
Well, ASO is basically a cultural group, and our purpose is to promote unity and diversity on the campus of SFA through awareness of the African culture.
Okay, so can anybody join ASO? I'm sorry.
Right, anybody's free to join ASO. We have blacks, Africans, white, Hispanic. Well, there's all kind of people are involved with ASO. Everybody's free to join.
Okay. So
All right. So I know this past week was ASO week, and I had a lot of events. You want to tell us about like a few of the events y'all had?
Right. From April 8th to 13th, we had ASO week, and it's basically there was an event every day from Monday through Saturday. The first Monday was Taste of Africa, which was on the yard. We just prepared some African food, traditional African dishes, let everybody taste them for free.
How did people respond to that? Did they like
Some
that?
people thought a little bit was spicy, but it was kind of spicy for some people. But other than that, the reviews was pretty good, so I'm happy about that.
what kind of food did y'all have?
Some traditional dishes was suya, which is basically, think of like a shish kebab with special spices and stuff on there.
Shishkin. They shishkin.
Your own little Tony's kind of.
Right,
Okay,
exactly.
okay. What about on Tuesday? What did y'all?
On Tuesday, we had a movie called Hidden Colors, and we showed that in Liberal Arts North. A lot of teachers offered extra credit for it. It was basically a documentary about the African diaspora and everybody, and just the general history of African people, all the way from Africa to South America, Caribbean, to here where we are now.
Okay, on Wednesday y'all had
The Back to Africa.
the Back to Africa.
Right, Back to
event.
Africa. Back to Africa it's a cultural showcase. Basically, we had singing, dancing. We had a lot of stuff pertaining to the skits, everything pertaining to the African culture, basically.
Was it only ASO members in the show, or was it other students? Like, were other students performing as a part of it, or?
Right, there were other students that were actually involved. We had some students from NAACP. A lot of organizations came together and just helped us with it. So it was a good effort.
That sounds really fun. Like, how was the turnout?
The turnout, it wasn't what we expected it to be because the rain kind of messed with it a little bit. It wasn't as big as last year, but the people that came there, they laughed, they had a good time. The skits were pretty funny, so I'm happy about that.
Okay. I have a question. I don't want it to come off the wrong way, but why do y'all feel y'all need a week?
A week, because basically to fit into our purpose, we want to, our purpose, if your purpose is to expose your culture to people, then you have to do that effectively. One or two events scattered throughout the year isn't going to do that. When we did stuff like Condom Sense or Battle of the Sexes, even though that is relevant to our culture, Condom Sense and HIV and everything, that's not really African per se. So we would just wanted to make sure that we're fulfilling our purpose. And after ASO Week, you got to try some African food, learn about some African traditions, see some African dancing, African fashion show and everything. So, I mean, we've really exposed the campus to our culture. So that's what we're trying to accomplish.
I like that.
So is there only an ASO chapter here at SFA, or are they at different schools?
They're actually nationwide. SFA's own chapter was founded in 2001, but there's there's ASO and ASA. ASA is African Student Association. That's what most of them are. ASOs are the ones that came in later afterwards, but every chapter is basically the same thing, African student organizations. The first ones were in Florida and around the southeastern part of the country, but now they're pretty much everywhere, especially in Texas. Almost every school has a chapter.
So do you ever meet up with the rest of the chapters? Or is there
Yeah,
ever
they
like
have
a
like big
gathering?
conventions and
we
things
do
like that.
Conventions?
actually. We have a ASO weekends. There's usually one, or like this semester there was two actually, and basically different chapters come together. The first night is a culture showcase, almost like a talent show, but with an African twist on it. Then there's a mixer afterwards just to meet and network with other people from other chapters. There's a party, a banquet where they give awards for the showcase, and a brunch and a basketball tournament on the day you go home. So it's pretty fun.
Do y'all ever get to go to Africa at some point?
Well, we don't have the money, particularly in the schools. It's very expensive flying over. I personally have been to Africa a few times, but as a group, it's going to be a while before we can actually get that money to go.
A lot of
But
fundraising.
yeah, it's a lot of
How many
fundraising.
candy bars do I have to sell?
A lot.
Car washes.
A lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
I think ASO is a really nice organization. My cousin was talking about joining, so could you tell us what is the order of how we could join, or students could join?
Well, basically, we're pretty much wrapping up for this semester. But if you're free to join basically by coming to our meetings Tuesdays at 6 p.m. in the tiered room. That's on the second floor of the student center. As soon as you get off the elevator, there's a door right in front of you. So just come through and talk to the e-board. We have membership dues, which include a shirt, free entry into all our events, and you're a member of ASO. But it's a great organization to join. We got like this year we got Program of the Year, Large Organization of the Year, President's Volunteer Service Award, and something else. So
Y'all
And
distinguished.
something
Yeah.
else. He's like, it's just so much and something else.
yeah, so it's fun. It's fun.
So, are there any other events that y'all have coming up?
Well, we're trying to make sure that everything is right for the next semester and our new e-board coming in. But we have a college fair coming up, and we're basically targeting students, low-income students who are possibly first generation who have no idea how college works or how financial aid works. The schools are coming over here, and we're just having different students talk to them about their majors personally so they can hear them from the kids. So we think that'll be effective.
Okay.
That is
Well,
awesome.
thank you, Bernard, for joining us today. Coming up next, we're going to find out where the geology students went on their field trip recently, and a little bit more about SFA. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Last week, geology students took a field trip around East Texas, and here with me I have Sean Chinat, and I have also my co-host Alexis Paul and Stan Cagle. We're going to talk about that geology field trip. So, Sean, I was one of the students on the trip with you. You know, we saw a lot of places, a lot of caves and things like that. I guess could you really tell them what the field trip was about?
What the geology field trip consisted mostly was we were visiting Fredericksburg, Llano, Texas, McKinney, Mason, and we were just checking out like all the biology of the rocks, seeing how they form, like all the forms from sedimentary, igneous, and metamorphic rocks, all the basic rocks, and just checking out like the ages, dips, and how dunes form, and all the potholes and stuff.
You said metamorphic. What kind of rocks?
Metamorphic, igneous, and sedimentary. They're just like the three
Are you
basic structures.
actually a geology major?
I'm actually a math major.
Right, so because I knew that was something about the field trip is that
Yeah.
it wasn't just for geology majors because I was interested in taking it this semester, but some scheduling conflicts got in the way. How do y'all think it really helped y'all really
In the-
appreciate the field of geography as far as not being majors?
To be honest, I would say originally I really didn't think I was going to enjoy it because I mean,
And he's
we
spitting
knew
out names of
yeah.
rocks and stuff.
Yeah,
like
we
that,
knew-
like you learned
Sedimentary.
something.
we knew ahead of time that we were going, to go
Right.
visit rocks. But a lot of the places that we saw, a lot of things that we did while we were there, it wasn't just like, oh, here's a rock, this is the name of it. It's been here for 100 years. It's actually like interactive stuff. We actually went to a place, it was called Enchanted Rock. In Enchanted Rock, we had the leader of our group, his name was Dr. Nielsen. He's been here a few times. He took us there, and we actually hiked up to the top of a mountain, Enchanted
Right.
Rock. It was a mountain, and at the top of that mountain there was like caves, and you can go in if you want. And it's completely no light. You go down there with a flashlight, and you just look for the arrows to tell you which way to go. So you like burrowing through caves and stuff, and
So
it was
like
real
spelunking.
something like that. But it was a lot more than just looking at rocks and writing down their names.
So tell us a little bit more about the field trip, y'all. When did it start? How long was it?
It was about 2 weeks ago. We left around Thursday morning around 6 o'clock in the
5,
morning.
6 a.m.
Yeah, little delay issues, but
Yeah.
it wasn't all just like study. We got to swim in the rivers. Other groups got to jump off cliffs, 40-foot,
Yeah.
20-foot cliffs.
All right.
Unfortunately, we didn't. Our professor was kind of hitting the age, and so it's like, let's go home. And
So y'all had to leave the trip early, or
oh no, that was just one of the days.
We all there was a lot of students on the trip, but we were actually split up into different groups. So it was like 2 vans with us, and our professor was with us, and then there was other groups, and they had their professor. So we went to different spots. They just happened to go to a lake with cliffs and jump off spots, and we went to a lake that had like a tree swing and stuff like that. You can swing into the lake with and stuff like
Tell
that.
us a little bit more about the professors. I've heard those geography guys are a little kooky out there. I heard
Kooky.
something about the
no
professors.
offense, guys.
Yeah, they, ours, Dr. Nielsen, he was actually a really cool guy. He was older, but he had a family, and he actually takes his family out on those on the trips with him a lot when he's just out researching the rocks. One of his favorite things he said a lot is you can never go wrong with a Little Debbie and a Diet Coke. He'd bring his family out, Little Debbie's and Diet Coke, and watch the sunset, I guess, like after climbing Enchanted Rock. Like he said he's actually climbed that mountain 2 times already this year.
Okay. 2
So,
times this year.
this year,
That's
so-
impressive.
Could
you
you
know.
tell us about the hiking trip?
The hiking,
Well,
Shug?
as far as hiking can go, we just went up as far as the mountain and then just explored the caves. Like, there's only about 2 occasions where we actually did actual hiking. It's just because as geology field trip, there's not a lot of students that are in top physical condition to climb up mountains.
What was your favorite part about it, Marcus? What was something that you'd actually bring back and maybe tell someone, this is why I took geology field trip. You should take it as well.
I would say really the experience and the places that you're gonna see. When you think of rocks, you think of all rocks as the same rock, but it's a lot of different ones, and the way they form and the actual historical places that you can find, just behind rocks. It's actually pretty exciting. We found some caves that apparently, I think he was like a famous robber or something back in the day, but he actually hid out in the tavern or in
Pretty
the cave that we were actually going to visit. So it was a lot of interesting stuff. One of the places we went to actually had a natural spring. The water was running from the ground, and a few of us had an opportunity to actually drink from that. Some of the students were scared. You don't want to drink just natural water out of the
How
ground.
was the weather? Was it swimming weather?
Yeah, it was actually nice weather most of the time. When you woke up in the morning, it was like freezing cold
Yeah.
because we got going at like 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock every morning.
Right.
But by
And you
noon,
were
you
by
were,
water.
yeah.
And for you, Sean, what was your favorite experience or take back from the trip?
I would say the most memorable part of it was we went to the cemetery in Fredericksburg, and you never really think about the tombstones, like the type of rock, how important it
Oh,
is.
right.
And they say concrete only lasts about 40 years max, but you go and you see they had a huge polio outbreak, and a lot of children died from it. But now you can't see any of the children's names or their families because
It's the concrete.
it's all weathered out and stuff. And you actually got to see the importance of like why the cemetery and all the tombstones are important.
Right.
So how many, well, I guess, would there be cities that y'all visit? You said McKinney and Fredericksburg and...
Yano, Texas, and Mason, and
I
we
was
went
gonna
up
say.
over to Cypress Creek, checked out a lot of.
So y'all,
We
did
went
y'all
to
sleep? Did y'all,
quite a bit.
it was a camping trip, right? Y'all were in
Right.
tents and
We were in
everything?
tents, yes. We were in
They were in
outside.
tents. I did
Wait,
not
where were
bring a
y'all?
tent.
You slept outside.
I slept outside in a sleeping bag.
That sounds
Really?
terrible.
Yeah, it was.
Why?
Ooh, bad planning.
So the school didn't tell
Provide
y'all
tents.
about that or provide?
No,
the
they
tents or-
they provided all the information. It was just
It was
lack
just
of
on
planning. But it was one hell of an experience for sure.
I can understand
Flip it
that.
over.
On the way back, actually, on the way back to Nacogdoches, our van actually caught a flat, but
Wow.
we were luckily at a gas station at Buc-ee's, so it was
Love
actually a few
Buc-ee's.
of us students like under the truck changing the tire.
Okay.
So that was kind of fun.
Every
Another-
man
another
want me to
experience
challenge
to add on.
themselves.
Oh, there
It was
you
just
go, around
another
the screen.
Oh,
experience, you
look,
know,
the
it was
viewers can see the photo right
something
there.
just to make.
Wow.
I mean, it made the trip more fun. It was my first time at a Buc-ee's. You know, I've never been to a Buc-ee's.
Oh, that's an
Buc-ee's is
experience in
awesome.
quite
itself.
a bit, yeah. So.
The place is huge.
But I say other than that, I mean, there was a lot of stuff on the trip. Like he said, the cemetery was a very interesting place. After going there, it actually makes you think about what kind of headstone you would want. He said he actually had to go back and spend, he said this part was like $400
Oof.
to buy his great-grandfather a new headstone just because they couldn't read the name. So, you know, he taught us about the rocks, and then, you know, he kind of led that into the conversation of, you know, what you would want to choose for yourself. So it wasn't just like, oh, here's some more rocks. It's a life lesson behind it as well. So it was kind of
How
fun.
many credits did you get for this class?
It was a 2
2-hour credit course.
two credit
How many
course.
times do you have to attend class?
It was just that one field trip, just that
Oh.
weekend from Thursday to Sunday when we got back around 8 p.m.
We met one time, I believe, earlier in January, and that was just basically them giving us the information what to bring and how to be prepared for the trip. But other than that, we just met up and we did the trip 4 days.
So each day you guys went somewhere different.
Right.
Oh, okay, that's really kind of cool. I may think about taking a trip like that. And they have one in the fall also, right?
Right. They do.
I believe
there's-
that one goes to Arkansas, if I'm correct.
Yeah, there's 2 different ones. There's actually one that's around Nacogdoches as well. That one's, I believe, just a day trip. Though you go out for the entire day and you go see a bunch of things and then you come back. So
All right, guys. Well, we would like to thank Sean for being here as our guest today, Marcus with a little input. And up next, we're going to be talking about what has been going on with this inaugural season of Jack Talk and talk about the ups and downs and how we all got through it. Y'all stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to Jack Talk. I'm Stanton Cagle. For this segment, we'll be having a roundtable discussion reflecting on this inaugural season of Jack Talk. As everyone on this set and behind it knows, this has been a semester of ups and downs, highs and lows, experiences and tragedies alike. With me here today, I have Lonnie Sorrells, Dr. Casey Hart, and Alexis Paul.
Hey, y'all.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to start off this section. You know, we're going to kind of just come into it a little hot-footed. Alexis, let's give the number one good thing you can tell our audience about this semester of Jack Talk. Maybe whether it be an experience, something you've learned, or just something you've had fun with.
Okay. The number one good. I would actually say the fact that this is a different experience. You know, at first the practicums were separate. It was a radio one and a TV one, and then they put it together. I appreciate the fact that they actually combined it and made 3
Hours.
Yeah, made 3 hours credit in total. But I will also say that Dr. Hart,
Yes,
for,
yes,
for,
yes.
for the next class, please.
Okay, please educate me,
Could
Miss
you, instead
Alexis
of us
Paul.
doing 6, could they do 3? show.
3. Come on, you guys are
Yes.
great. I liked seeing you up here.
I understand, but you know, Dr. Hart, you have to understand, especially come from Nacogdoches. It's Nacogdoches.
Maybe tell our
is only
viewers about Nacogdoches a little
Okay,
bit.
okay. Nacogdoches was a class in our 304. class. It's
Yeah, 300 now.
300
Yeah.
now. You have a group, 2 teams, and it was like magazine news. And then you make packages, 2-minute packages, you and your team, and every week it's a show. And then at the end of after all the packages have came through, you have a round table discussion about 10 minutes. And that's Snack Edition. You know, and it was hard coming up with, several different topics.
And you guys did 6 of those
We
in a
did,
semester. Yeah.
right? But see, here's the thing. We have for this class, it is 4 teams,
Yes.
3 segments per show. That's 24 shows, and I haven't even did the math for the 3 segments. You know, Nacogdoches is only so big.
Yeah, but there's stuff going on all the time, and this was
Whack
the whole
stuff.
point.
You-
This was the whole point of Jack Talk. You know, we've got a news show. We've got Snack Edition now is set up as a nightly newscast type show. Okay, 15 minutes, but that's great. That's going to be an experience you guys are going to have in the future. We've got, of course, Purple Pride that's been running
Yes.
ever. It's an interview show. Again, 15 minutes. When I set up this show for you guys, and I'm really hoping you guys at home appreciate this or enjoy Jack Talk. I know I love being the one that's over the top of it. I wanted you guys to have an experience that perhaps you haven't had before.
Okay.
Kind of a View-esque type show, where you're playing off of each other, but you're also exploring the different things going on at SFA, Nacogdoches, and be able to expand your horizons to whatever it is that you would like to do. You want sports, do sports. You want entertainment, do entertainment. And I've got to say, I've been impressed with the work you guys have done so far.
Thank
and
you.
We have obviously our YouTube channel, Jack TV SFA, and we've seen a
Honey.
lot of good comments coming in on that as well. I'm just very much hoping that you guys are enjoying this semester.
And I guess if we're feeling that as students, I wonder what what KTRE feels like over in Lufkin. I'm sure they're scraping for entertaining news to
Exactly.
come across all the time. I feel like everything I always see on KTRE.com is either a meth bust or child
sound
getting
like
beat up or
somebody
something
else.
like that, which we don't really report on here.
No,
at
we
Jack
don't.
Talk.
Sorry. This is a non-meth station.
Very
Well,
good news.
Lonnie,
Yes.
can you give us a positive experience that you've had this semester?
I enjoyed watching my group members and my classmates. I liked watching them blossom into their position and finding their role within their group. I thought that was essential for joining any team covering news or whatever, because you're not always going to get to do what you want to do, but sometimes you do something you don't want to do and
Makes
end
you a
up
better
being
person.
really, makes you more well-rounded, makes you more talented as far as you're getting that job and whatnot. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Right, something that I've kind of taken aback from the whole experience is just as compared with Purple Pride was you almost have too much time. You think about it too
Yes.
much. You're trying to get in there. Oh, what can I do to edit? What can I do to do this? And with this one, it's more you're thrown into it. For me, I kind of like being put on pressure. I feel I perform better.
Well,
with,
you know, the
with
general
that.
rule of all television news is don't let good spoil, or don't let perfect keep you from good. Now, that's not saying you don't try and be a perfectionist in this. You try and turn out the best product possible.
Of course.
But you can't agonize over this. You know, it's a time schedule. Reporters in the field, and you know, this is something that folks at home may not know, are sometimes required to do 3 to 5 different stories every single day, not over a period of a week or 2 weeks, every single day. And sometimes you're just rushing. I've been in this myself, to just get information that the people can use. An event coming up, crime that they need to know about, happening.
Gotta love crime.
Well, you know, people like it. You know,
That's true.
I mean, rubberneckers on the side of the road like to see crashes. You know,
That's true. You know, the whole Boston thing. Now, when I was looking at those reports, I was like, could I actually see myself doing that? And again, also with this practicum, we had the whole, simulated disaster.
Oh, yes.
Now,
Yeah.
I feel like that was awesome. And for the people who missed out on it, I'm sorry, guys, but it was pretty much, we were based at the Nacogdoches Memorial,
Memorial
and the Surgery Center.
Yeah, the medical center
Mhm.
on the loop. Yeah.
And that was a different experience. I was like, wow, I didn't know you had to be so forceful and tell me this and tell me that. And one of the cameramen, I won't say his name, Martin, but
Wow, okay.
he was in there, and I was like, wow. Him and Brianna, they were there in the PR lady's face, just talking, asking questions, and then I kind of got into it.
So if I can ask a question,
Okay.
I know we've only got a couple of minutes left here, but if I can ask a question, what's something you think you've discovered here very quickly in this show that you think made you better as a broadcaster?
Personally, I would say, like I said earlier, just getting that, you know, you got to do it now, you got to do it now. It's more of, you know, when you go out there, you don't really have the time to prepare for anything, really, as far as broadcasting goes. So I would
Lonnie?
say that's definitely something. Keeps you on your toes, lets you know how quick you have to be with all this information, especially with social media these days.
Okay, Lonnie?
I think I realized that no matter how much you want to take the wheel, there's always somebody that wants to take the wheel even more. So you have to balance that and balance kind of your wants with your team's wants. And I just got more of the whole team aspect and knowing when to kind of fall back.
10 seconds, Alexis?
Well, the only thing I can say is that I learned how to depend more on my team because I'm used to being one-woman bandstand. So, well,
Excellent.
Dr. Hart, Lonnie, we thank you guys for being our guests.
Already
And
know.
unfortunately, this is all the time we have. We want to thank Sean, we want to thank Bernard, and of course Dr. Hart and Lonnie for being our guests. And you guys, I hope you have a wonderful summer. And this is Jack Talk. And well, I'm sorry, guys. For my director, he said that this is our last show of Jack Talk. Oh, no, my babies. And Jacory, that's our director, he said thank you for watching. He's done a wonderful job. So has Stan, Mariah, Ashley, Marcus. I appreciate all you guys for being on team with y'all.
We
Shout out
thank
to
you,
Group One.
Alexis.
Shout out to Group 1.
Shout out to
All
Group
right.
1.
Good job, not
I
bad.
know.